Welcome, everybody. Guess what? Playoff time. Well, for some of you, that is. Maybe for the others, it's avoid the dreaded license plate curse. Nice shirt.
Thanks. I'm in the holiday spirit.
And I'm really cold. Your basement is freezing. So, we didn't know what to do there. But we're excited because guess what? We're both in the playoffs! Woo! Tom, how long's it been?
Back.
He's
it has
back.
been, I missed it, 3 straight seasons, which means the 17th season, no. 16th season, not there.
No.
15th season, wasn't me in the playoffs.
Nope.
All the way back in 2014, when Julia was born. That's the last time I made the playoffs. So
maybe that third kid was a charm.
yeah, and hopefully I can bring him a playoff championship trophy.
Can you feel the drama?
I can feel it. It's giving me a headache.
That was called Playoff Season, brought to you by NFL Films. So for those of you who didn't make the playoffs, let's quickly recap the demise of those teams. Tom, my top choice of teams to talk about that did not make the playoffs, because let's face it, if I was this team, you would have heard about it every week, how mad I would have been, how much I hated fantasy football, but we didn't really get to hear it. But Kristen Allen's team just had the unfortunate luck this season.
It's one of those years where you can walk away shaking your head saying, fantasy football just isn't fair. And basically everyone would agree with you.
Yep.
She put up, I think in the end it was like the 4th highest scoring team in the league.
Yep.
And even that was like, I don't know, she was 20, 30 points off from the leader. Everyone at the top was pretty jumbled in there. I mean,
yeah, not a big deal.
Far and above, like a comparison's sake, Dennis, who snuck into the playoffs, she scored
300 more points?
300 more points than Dennis.
300.
300.
And here's the craziest part about all that. Kristen wasn't even closest to having the highest points scored against her. That honor belonged to none other than Pete Allen with 1,400 points scored against him.
Because you know what he just did? He
set a record.
Set the record for most points scored against. And what's unique about this season is, Mike, the highest before it, Gino's Jaw, 2015, I mentioned it in a Tom Talk article.
Yep.
1,297 points scored against. This year, we had Peter took the cake for sure with 1,402 points. He went far and above what he needed to do, got more than 100 over the record. But what's so unique about this year is, on top of that, Priscilla's Killas, 1,356. So that would have also beat the previous record. Also, the Dave's Cimarron Steelers, 1,319, would have also beat the record. I mean, this was just a crazy scoring year. And you can see it even in the scores. I mean, little fun bursts here. We're getting into it. Last year, one team scored 1,300 points. That was our eventual champion, who had Zeke, Todd Gurley, and Alvin Kamara all on the same team, which when you think in retrospect of how did that happen,
wow,
it's kind of bizarre. And you got to, I just checked, 1,331 points. This year, we have your team scored above that.
Michael
Sparing scored above it. The Butcher Block Madness scored above it.
Tom came close.
I came 3 points of that. Kristen's Kraken, who didn't even make the playoffs, scored above it. And even Dave Cimarron's Steelers got to 1,306. We had 6 teams get to 1,300 points. Checked a few other seasons, not all of them. I think at most 2 teams have done it in the same season, usually 1, and sometimes we haven't even reached 1,300 points. So,
thank you, NFL, for letting a lot of points be scored this year, because it's made our league extra fun.
It has been wild and crazy, just mind-boggling.
And I just want to say that 1,400 points scored against you means you had over 100 points a week scored against you.
Yeah.
That's painful.
So you got, what does that come out to? Let's put it in the old calculator. So what was it?
1402
1402
divided by 13
is 100, and we'll round it up 8 points per week scored against him. On the other hand, we have Mr. Dennis Kelly, who ended up scoring 1,114 points. That's what he scored, and he made the playoffs, which comes out to, oh my lordy,
78 points a week.
I mean, woo! Just awful. I mean, embarrassing, really. But, we made fun of him in the video, and he rattles off a 3 or 4 game win streak, including against me, to make me eat my words.
He even lost last week.
With like a 40.
Any team beneath him won their game, they would be in.
It was a crazy end to the season.
He got so lucky.
Where the way it could have played out is we could have had 5 teams from the West. My prediction was this so close to coming true.
And guess what? It's 3-3.
Because, it's 3-3. But the people who needed to win to stay in the, lock in their playoff spot, Dennis and Dad.
Yep. They lost.
They put up a combined under 80 points, I think.
Yeah.
Between the two teams, then they lost. But Pete Allen decided to play Heartbreaker and put up his second highest score of the season to knock the Krakens out. And the Cimarron Steelers just can't beat Kate Kelly this year.
It's weird.
He gave Kate nearly half of her wins this season. She got 5, so not quite half, but pretty close
enough. Wow.
Yeah. A weird, bizarre thing. Because there's a season where Dave almost went undefeated and Kate went winless. And fast forward 6 years, and she's got his number.
And to put a bow on all of this, for Kristen's record at 6-7, her and I had similar points fielded and points against, and I finished 9-4. So that's the way the matchups broke. Usually when you see someone at 6-7 and that high points fielded, they have the highest points against. It's really bizarre.
Fantasy football is not always logical.
No.
It's a game of luck,
That sure
Injuries, weekly matchups.
I mean, there isn't too much else to talk about on the bottom teams. Bills, Buffalo, they kind of tried to rally in there at the last minute, but just too little, too late. We talked about Dave and Kristen's demise, so we were even talked about Allen Family Madness was looking like Sparing Family Madness.
Sparing's gone wild.
Oh, yes, but they partied too hard too early and couldn't handle it. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4... 5 Allens out of 6.
In the playoffs.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, the license plate.
The license plate could still remain in my family.
It could. It could stay right where it is. It could go. It could go to Cimarron. It could come to my house. Who else is in play? We could ship it off to New Jersey.
Send it to Dennis's house.
Send it down to the Kelly household. Well, actually, probably not. Let's be honest. Kate scored 51 points with a single player,
Henry.
And that will, assuming she can win, she'll be safe from the license plate.
If you lose with one person scoring 51 points,
you don't deserve to be in our league next year.
That's right.
All right.
That was just incredible. And the other thing I have to say is, at one point we talked about our league respecting females because the females were starting to dominate at one point. This season brought them back to not good.
No, actually, we should probably be careful because a lot of white men are in playoff spots, and we don't want to end up on like CNN or something for being one of those leagues. If you know what I mean.
So sorry, women. Better luck next season.
Next time we
tried to help you.
You'll do it.
But somehow Dennis made it. That's really the bottom line.
Yes, actually, he could be our scapegoat. This is Dennis's fault. He's a white male who is just he's bringing down women.
Yeah.
So
thanks a lot, Dennis.
Yeah.
I need to kick him out of the league.
Terrible person.
Jeez. Okay. All right. Let's get to the drama.
It's the bracketology.
So we have 6 seeds. The number 1 seed, flipped from last season because Michael Sparing beat me at the end
What an exciting
of
matchup.
this year.
We'll see
which,
if that matters.
had I not switched out my Ravens defense, I would have beat him. I'm flustered.
So that
he's the
puts
number
you-
1 overall seed.
So that puts you against the winner of Dennis or Bobby. So we'll keep an eye on that to see if you end up losing to one of them, would you have beat the winner of the other
Yep.
matchup? We'll keep an eye on that.
And
throughout
last
the
year that
playoffs.
would have happened, actually, because I can't remember who Michael faced. Peter. It would have been Peter. And I would have lost to Peter in that round. But, yep, so interesting fact. So Michael has to face the winner of you and Dad.
So he probably likes those odds.
I would like those odds.
Although you might get to face Dennis.
I don't know. Leonard Fournette looked pretty
Oh,
terrible.
man.
Okay, so
All right. So last year we had big, beautiful poster boards, but this
we
year
don't have those.
budget cuts, and we have to use paper from political people who are handing it out for free. So we're saving money here at the company.
True.
But we have little pieces of brackets.
I'm warmed up now.
All right, so let's do this. Round numero.
And we would have been more prepared had Michael not jumped off of bed yesterday,
Mhm.
and I thought he broke his foot. Luckily, he didn't.
Yeah,
Just sprained it.
It's questionable for this weekend at the Allen Sunday gathering if
Yeah.
he'll be running around or not. We'll see.
Probably
He's
be.
expected to start, but he might be a little gimpy.
As the time wears on, it might feel more painful.
All right, round 1. Starting at the top of the brackets.
Are we showing our brackets now, or are we going to reveal them one
No.
by one?
Well, I guess we could somehow do it one by one.
Oh, that's going to be hard. Yeah, that's going to be really hard.
Here we go. I got it going. I use nice bright markers.
All right, which one are we talking about first?
Who did you put at the top? So we'll start at the top matchups.
Tom and Stock Up, also known as Mike Sr., also known as Dad, Grandpa, Uncle, whatever.
So,
I had in this one Tom.
Yeah.
I think Tom can do it. Dad's team is hurting. He has a woman beater who's no longer available, and he has an Achilles heel, literally,
No!
because Emmanuel Sanders tore his Achilles.
That was sad.
So his AFC West players who comprise his team decided to go to Christmas early. So wrap your present, Tom, because you're getting a gift.
Yeah, so we have Stock Up. So I abbreviated names here. Cap, Tom, America, and Chavenges.
It's like Cajun almost.
So I'm the Raging Cajuns against the Suz. And I have...
Whoa!
Stock Up made it on because me and Dad are in a battle of karma right now. And Dad said that I will win this weekend because the last time he trash talked me, he lost by about 80. So I am returning said good karma. And I'm going to say, Dad, you know what? You're fielding a good, strong team despite your injuries, and I think you will win.
I think you're on drugs, man. That team is terrible now.
And in the battle of...
He's starting Rashad Penny
Hey,
and Mike Williams.
they're
Ugh.
good people.
Ugh.
We got the Fournette Awakens and the BBBMs.
It's like one of those read constipation. So as much as I want to like basically make Dennis run the table because I don't know how you get so friggin' lucky, I just can't do it. So Bobby is moving on.
Yeah, I talked poorly of Dennis's team in the past, and despite the fact that he got 3 wins in a row, one against me, he really was beating teams who were scoring like 50 and 60 because I only scored 60 that week. It was my worst week of the season. I don't think the madness, the Butcher Block madness, is going to have a bad week, and I still think Dennis's team, despite that it made the playoffs, I think it is a horrible team.
Yes, I agree. And, Bobby's team kind of goes as the Giants' offense goes. He has their 2 biggest performers in Saquon and Odell. And then he has a stud running back in Phillip Lindsay. Quarterback's questionable with Lamar Jackson, but hey, he runs, so that's a lot of points there. And Stephon Diggs been pretty good this year. So it's a scary team, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a scary team.
That leaves us in the second round. At the top, in the battle of Michaels, we have the youngest Michael of the league.
Oh, yeah, because you
versus the oldest Michael of the league. Oh, that's right.
And I have Tom and Michael Sparing.
So I said Mahomes will win this matchup. I think Patrick Mahomes will single-handedly outscore stock up in that week because he's capable of putting up 40, and as we saw from Mike Allen Sr.'s team last week, he's capable of putting up 38 with an entire roster of players. So,
Mike Sparing,
the youth has it.
Has really, it's weird. He doesn't like going by Mike, but Mike is his name in ESPN's league, right? He likes Michael.
He does. Maybe back then he liked Mike. I don't know.
He's like Peter. He just changes his mind on his favorite part of his name. So anyway, yes, I too have Michael Sparing, and the impressive thing is he was so bad in the league for so long, unable to make the playoffs, and he's had 2 years now where he's been the top team in his division. So kudos to you, Mike. You're back on riding the bike to maybe a championship.
Stop rhyming.
Psych.
Oh, there it is. Oh my God. Yeah, his formula for success is to score big with Chiefs players. Because last year he got Kareem Hunt in like the 3rd round and turned out to be a top 5 running back.
Yeah.
This year he got Patrick Mahomes pretty far down, maybe like 8th, 9th.
7.
He already had Rodgers, so he didn't need to jump on him too early.
Yep.
And number 1 quarterback in the league, number 1 scorer in the league. So next year, you got to just draft all the Chiefs in front of Michael Sparing so that he doesn't get them because it's working for him.
The one risk right now is James Conner is hurt, so we'll see what happens next week. That could be a weakness come playoff time. But yeah, I like it.
It's a good team.
All right.
We got the PPs against the big
BBBMs.
Brass bowel movements. And in that one, I have the PP.
Wow, yes, I have Bobby. His team scares me. I just really think the Giants rely so heavily on Saquon and Odell that he'll keep getting lots of points.
Here we go.
So you have a rematch of the end of the regular season.
Rematch at the end of the regular season, yes. And another battle of the Michaels. It's just going to be Michael battle after Michael battle in this playoffs. So,
yeah, might as well just call this the Michael playoffs. 3 of the 6 teams, Michael.
With that, we have the championship matchup. And I have selected as my champion, Michael. Sparing. He's going to pull off this first ever championship. He just has a roster of players that are so good. He was the highest scoring team in the regular season. He's got Mahomes. Even without Connor, he still has a really solid team with a lot of high scoring players. And when your quarterback can get you like 35 per week, that's a really good baseline for your other 8 guys to just, if they can just get even like 8 to 10 points each, you're going to have a really good score.
I would have won the championship had someone not taken Josh Allen before me in the waivers this week. But, you know.
Uncle Josh. Maybe I'll start him this week.
Is he like your cousin? Because you're like older than him.
It can happen.
Soon it's going to be like they're your nephew.
Nephew Josh? This doesn't sound right.
It just sounds like we're old.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a year like we've had in other seasons where that lower seed team that sneaks in the playoffs as a 5 or 6, you know, they kind of run the table. And I just think Bobby might do it. I really like his roster right now. And, I just think he can beat the Mahomes off the Mahomes.
I don't know what that means.
Me either. But, yeah.
So, now that we know who the champion the most important moment of the night.
Oh,
Who
that's easy.
is your prediction to have the loser license plate squarely on the rear of their bumper at the end of this season?
I should have more faith in my wife. But yeah, that team got devastated when Le'Veon Bell decided that he wanted to retire early from football. Did he retire?
I don't think so.
Mm.
I think he wants to come back next year. Hopefully the Steelers don't franchise tag or transition tag or cut his tag. I don't know. There's all sorts of words that fly around. I don't even know
Thanks
what it
to
means.
his tags, the fantasy football losers tag is going to be on my license plate. So thanks, Le'Veon. I'm predicting Priscilla gets it.
Do I go with the easy one or do I do like a shocker? Like it's going to be Dave Sperry.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with... No, it's Priscilla. I mean, she's riding a 9-game losing streak, which is, I believe, the second longest losing streak our league has ever witnessed.
It's pretty terrible.
And I just don't see much hope for her in sight. This week she's got Pete, who has a semi-decent team, just had some rough luck against his opponents this year. And then, I mean, between Kristen and Dave, I don't see either one of them really falling that far. And even if Bill loses, I just don't see how she even gets out of the bottom, ever.
Now, Priscilla did go from the 7 all the way to the bottom last season. She was in that upper part. Looks like Billy's going to be in the lower bracket come next week.
So it might be a Billy versus Priscilla second round.
So try
I
to
feel
get
like
out
Billy
of that.
could win, and then I don't know who it'll be after that. It could be Peter or Dave or Kristen, maybe. I just don't know. I just don't see how she beats those teams with her current roster.
Me either.
I don't know if she's scored over 80 in weeks. So that's my prediction. That's our playoff predictions. Send us your brackets. We'll tally them up at the end of the season. And winner gets $5 Starbucks gift card.
Wow.
Just toss it out there.
The reason that was so funny is that my wife got a $5 Starbucks gift card yesterday.
That's funny. Hey, submit your bracket. Can you beat this bracket that has all this going on? Can you beat his bracket? Find out. Send them in. Mail them to us. Email. Hand delivered. We'll take them.
California style.
Only one entry per person now. I don't want this situation where we submit 14 brackets because we figured out every
If
combination.
you want to use your children to predict the winner, feel free.
All right.
So we might have a lot of Kristens winning from your family, from your children, even though they know that they won't. Yeah, they won't know that she's in the playoffs or not in the playoffs. So they might say, "Mommy's the winner." My children might say the same thing, and I'll have to tell them, "Your mother's really not good at fantasy football."
All right.
But she's a great mom.
Hey, that's what matters most.
It does.
Real momming versus fantasy footballing.
If I would have to pick a winner of those two, I would pick the real mommying every time.
Yeah, I prefer Kristen winning at momming versus missing the playoffs in fantasy football
Yeah.
or making the playoffs.
All right.
She might disagree with me. I don't know. She's pretty upset about it.
Calm down over
I have to talk her off the ledge. We might have 11 teams next year. That's all.
Viola wants to win.
She's a winner in our hearts.
Hi, Viola.
All right.
Next year, Viola wins.
That's all we got, folks. We will see you maybe in the championship, maybe in the toilet bowl. Maybe you'll get a license plate. Maybe you'll get a trophy. Find out in the next 3 weeks.
Coming soon. Merry Christmas.